Hello everyone, I have a gameplay on the map Drydock. I go 21-2 and it's very much just kind of a rushing gameplay. There's not a lot of thought behind the actions. So instead I wanted to talk about something else. I wanted to give my 2 cents on what I think about a high KD and how to get one. Because I ran into a video the other day that basically tried to give a tutorial on how to get a high KD and I didn't really agree with it. The video basically said you're going to have to camp and it's not going to be fun. And I hope that this gameplay specifically contradicts that because I am very active and I come out with a very good score as well. First and foremost, I want to point out that I think kill-death ratio is a poor measurement of player skill and that I don't think there's a direct correlation between KD and skill. I think it's a common misconception that if you have a good KD, you are going to be a good player. And personally, when I look at how good a player is, when I'm not actually watching them play, I would look at how many points per match they get or points per round. That gives you an idea of how active they are. And to put this in perspective, I'm going to use my friend Kyle or Improvises, which I've mentioned before. He was a support player I play with, and his KD is not the best, but I would definitely take him over a lot of the other players out there, even if they have a higher KD, because he does so much work. Kyle, if you're watching this, don't feel good about yourself. But what I'm saying is, if there weren't players that supported and set things up, there wouldn't be any high KDs rolling around. You really need both. I also think that win-loss is a poor measurement of player skill. Oftentimes you'll come across teams where you'll face someone and they have like a 50 win-loss and a 3.5 KD, but then you get them down to 1v1 and you realize that that's not completely accurate. I mean, they might be good, but that might be pushing it a bit. So I'm gonna talk about how I would go about getting high KD. I just listed a few points here that I'm going to try to explain, and hopefully that can get you on the right track. But I want you to keep in mind that, like I said, it's a poor measurement of skill, so don't think that a high KD makes you a better player. First and foremost for the points is practice makes perfect. You can't just jump in and expect to be a god at the game. I've been playing since Gears 1, and I've been improving as I go along. It is not easy to start, and you really have to stick with it above all. Positioning and map control is really important too, and that's where I think my opinion contradicts that of the other person's. You can see how active I was in Drydock, especially Drydock. Getting the map gives you access to all the power weapons, and you can see that they have to push you, which is one of the reasons I don't really like Drydock. It makes it almost next to impossible for the other team to win if you control the middle. And then that gives us power weapons, we have man up. There's so many things going wrong for them, and that lets me and my team control the map, which lets us control where the players are going to go, which means we're going to have a lot easier time killing them than we do. And when it happens to you, you'll see that your KD is significantly lower than it usually is. The man up rule I mentioned is only really applicable for TDM, but I guess that's fine because TDM is the most popular game type, so I can talk about execution another time if I really have to. One really thing I'd say that's important is to be in the right state of mind. If you're angry, you're not going to perform your best. When I'm in my best state of mind, I would say that I'm very calm. I'm not going to lie, I like to play in soccer shorts, no shirt. I mean, it's so comfortable. I play on a rocking chair. You should probably buy one of those. They're literally the nicest. I rock back and forth all the time. Just felt the need to mention it. So if you need to warm up too, I mean, warm up. People might think that warming up is a waste of time, but I mean, if you think about it, maybe your hand-eye coordination is off a little bit, and you know, you can put yourself in the mood just by botting some bots at the beginning. So just ask yourself what your perfect setup is, and try to have that perfect setup whenever you're going to game. I would say that one of the things that helped me out the most when I started out to becoming a better player and to become to improve my KD would be to reflect on your deaths. A lot of people will just complain about their deaths and say, you know, that was ridiculous, that should not have happened. But the best way to improve is to reflect on your deaths and kind of think about why you died. And if you can do that and understand why you died, that means that in the future you probably won't make the same mistake again, or you know, it would have been different circumstances, in which case you ask yourself again, why did I die? There's never an impossible situation. There are hard ones. And play for your team as well, not just yourself. That's my last point. Playing for your team helps everybody, including yourself. If you play for yourself and you hoard weapons and camp in a corner, that's not really going to do anyone any good, and you might get a few kills, but when your team does well, you will inadvertently do well as well. So that's what I have to say about it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.